The internet loves to ask the eternal question, why does music suck now? Or its close cousin, is music actually getting worse? And more, the quick answer people throw out is, yep, you can blame AI. Robots are stealing our grooves. But let's pump the brakes on that one, because the truth is, AI isn't doing anything all that different from what the music industry has been doing to itself for decades. If anything, AI is just a new scapegoat. Let's talk about it on We Are the Machine. The 5 things that I think are touching on why people think music sucks now. Some will cover topics you probably have talked about. Some might touch on things you haven't thought about. And by the end, we'll see how bad is AI really right now for the music industry. So the first thing we have to touch on is the nostalgia effect. You know, every generation says the same thing. Music today isn't like it used to be. Boomers said it about hip hop. Gen Z said it about boy bands and the Spice Girls, and now Gen Z is saying it about TikTok core beats. This is the nostalgia effect. Old music feels better because it's tied to your memories. It's the soundtrack to your first kiss, your first heartbreak, that summer you thought you were invincible. It's hard to beat that. A study of lyrics from 1980 to 2020 actually showed that yes, though, modern songs are simpler, more repetitive, and a lot angrier, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're worse. It just means music reflects what culture's at. So when people ask, why does music suck now, part of our brains is doing a trick on us. We're comparing fresh songs against 20 years of perfectly aged memories, and nostalgia is a hell of a producer. Now, the second effect is the overproduction nation. Let's talk about the real culprit. If music feels flatter, more cookie cutter, it's not just AI's fault. It's the industry's obsession with production polish. Think about it, auto-tune isn't new, neither is quantization or compression. These are tools producers have used for years to iron out every little wrinkle. And compression in the past isn't the same compression that pushed the sound wars to compress everything as tightly and as loud as it could be. But the problem is these wrinkles are what made music human. The crack in the voice, the drummer who drags just a little bit behind the beat, that's soul, that's rockin' music. One live take mixed together. When you sand it all down, you get the gleaming product that's technically perfect and emotionally sterile. It's like photoshopping a face until it feels like a mannequin. Some places you might want that, but maybe not everywhere. So when people complain AI is making everything sound the same, I'd argue that sameness was already baked in for a while. AI currently has just made it cheaper and faster. The third thing is the flood. There's another thing to keep in mind here is just the sheer volume of music. Back in the year 2000, about 75,000 new tracks came out in the entire year. Today, we're getting at 200,000 songs every single week. Every week. That means for artists, your competition isn't just Drake or Taylor Swift. It's 199,999 other songs uploaded that same Friday. So yeah, it feels like music is getting worse, but part of it is that there's just too much of it. The average listener doesn't have time to sift through a mountain to find gold. And so streaming services don't help either. They feed us whatever works best for their algorithm, not necessarily what's the most creative. And artists are under pressure to write songs that make Spotify skip time happy, not songs that make your soul ache. That's not an AI problem. That's a capitalism problem. The fourth thing is where AI is changing things. Now, let's be fair, AI is changing the game in a lot of places. Right now, the lawsuits flying around for Suno or Udio, those are AI platforms that can crank out entire songs on demand. Those are fights about copyright. They were trained on music libraries without the musician's permission. So that's less artificial intelligence and more an intellectual property theft. But here's the thing, those AI tools are not replacing Taylor Swift. They're replacing the anonymous composer who used to get paid $50 to make elevator music, or YouTuber's background track, or the writers for Taylor Swift. So who's really getting squeezed here? It's not the superstars, it's the middle class creatives, the session musicians, the jingle writers, the stock music producers. That layer of the industry was already fragile, and AI might knock it all the way off the shelf. But for indie artists, though, AI can be empowering. It makes beat making cheaper, mastering faster. You don't need $1 million studio anymore. You just need a laptop and curiosity. So it's a double-edged sword. AI democratization of tools but it also floods the market with more fast food tracks. But that also demands an even higher end. And the fifth segment, authenticity, is the real fight. Here's a deeper point. When people say music sucks now, what they're really saying is, where is the authenticity? But authenticity has never been a fixed thing. Was Bob Dylan authentic when he went electric? People booed him off the stage. Was hip-hop authentic when it started sampling disco records? Critics said it wasn't real music. Every generation moves the goalposts. And now AI enters the chat, and suddenly that's the line in the sand. Oh no, AI music isn't authentic. But let's be honest, we've been outsourcing authenticity for decades, buying beats online, running vocals through Melodyne until they sparkle, releasing songs designed by data instead of desire. AI isn't stealing something pure, it's just mirroring the industry's existing cracks. Our sixth segment, as a little bonus, does music suck now? Here's my take. No, music doesn't suck. The industry does. The problem isn't creativity, it's how creativity gets packaged, sold, and shoved into playlists. The good stuff is and will always be out there. You just have to dig past the noise if it's possible. And AI is not the villain. It's more like the funhouse mirror distorting what's already in front of it. And if we don't like what we see, maybe the issue isn't the mirror, maybe it's us and what we created for a long, long time. For artists, the real challenge is the same as it's always been. How do you stand out, stay human, and make people feel something, whether you're strumming a guitar, programming a beat, or even prompting a machine? So next time someone asks you, why does music suck now? Maybe tell them it doesn't. Music is just evolving, messy, sometimes a little bit overproduced, and AI, it's not just a thief. It's just the latest scapegoat in a long line of tech that got blamed for killing music and ended up prompting something entirely new. And let's be real, if the history of music has shown us anything, it's that nothing, not vinyl, not Napster, not auto-tune, and not AI, has ever managed to kill the beat. Thanks, guys. That'll do it for this episode of We Are the Machine, and we will see you next time.